Hello everybody, I hope you're well. So firstly, I would just like to thank everybody who has watched and engaged with my videos so far, and well, both of them, both my videos. And what I've been attempting to do for anyone who's not seen these is to showcase my artistic process when I produce an oil painting. So if anyone has watched these, simply enjoyed them, or even been inspired by them, that means a lot, so thank you very much, and thank you for the kind comments that I've had so far. But what I'm going to do today is I'm not going to get messy with paint. Instead, I'm going to get a lot less messy with an iPad. And what I'm going to do is show you how I produce a piece of pixel artwork. And for anyone who's been looking at my socials recently, you may have seen one or two illustrative pieces of good old Lincoln, as usual. And what I want to do today is show you how they are produced. So let's get on. So first things first, what I'm going to need for this is a lot of quality reference material. Because I want to try and render this entire street, I'm going to need to go out onto Steep Hill with my camera and just take lots of photos and videos and then bring it back, and that'll give me something solid to work from. So let's go outside and brave the cold. So I'm going to start by taking a video of a walk along the street, capturing all the details and angles that I'll need. So after a lot of picture taking and a pretty decent quads workout to be fair, I'm ready to take this home where it's warm and get started. After uploading the video I took, I screenshotted images every few seconds to get a snapshot of each viewpoint, so here are a few examples. I've got good reference now of details like the frontages of shops, to the roof tiles, all the way down to the signage and smaller stuff like that. On reflection, I didn't get every detail I needed, but to spare me another climb up Steep Hill, which is named that way for a reason, I'm using Google Street View. Here I can screenshot some new angles of doorways and this Pimento tea room signage here. Okay, so I'm warmed up from the cold, all my references in place, and most importantly, my legs have recovered from that climb up Steep Hill, so all is good. So with this piece, what I'm going to do is, unlike with my oil paintings, which aim for a high degree of photorealism, with this piece I'm going to channel the spirit of those early 90s video games, Sega, Nintendo, Atari, that kind of thing. And I'm going to render the street scene of Lincoln in a very retro pixel art aesthetic. So let's get started. Oh, but before I do get started, I just want you to know that I will be doing some more oil paintings again for my next video. In fact, those with an eagle eye might be able to spot my next painting subject in the background. And no, it's not an apple this time. So what is a pixel? A pixel is the smallest unit of a digital image, a single dot of colour. For these images, I'm using a single pixel brush like this. To show you the basics of how I work, here's how angled lines work, as they are drawn pixel by pixel and not in a traditional way. To get different angles, I need to cluster different numbers of pixels before replicating on another line. Similarly with circles, I have to work out how they are constructed using only a series of single dots. I can't draw a circle in a normal sense. There's a lot to take in here, but you've got to start somewhere. So for literally no particular reason, I'm going to start with the signage for Hobson's Pies, which, may I add, I went to at the weekend. Great pies. Anyway, the key to pixel art is distilling as much visual information as possible into the fewest number of pixels. This is key in getting that retro look, so the image doesn't simply look like a pixelated photograph. I'm using a very limited range of colours too. Often for each colour I have a base tone, a shadow tone and a highlight. As I have so few pixels to work with, colour gradients are represented like this, sort of like a checkerboard pattern. I'll leave you with a few seconds of sped up footage of me pixel art in the pie shop, along with all those tiny details. So fast forwarding a bit, I'm 3 buildings in, and I've started to get in some of the very small details that all contribute to giving the location its unique rustic character. I'm going to show you how I create tileable textures of some of these more repetitive elements. Drawing every brick individually would take ages, and it's not how a pixel artist in the 80s or 90s would have done it. Instead, I'm going to create this small section and copy paste. For the edge, I'm going to delete just a few pixels where the cement is so that the line isn't completely straight. I'm going to add some very subtle noise and colour variation to show the bricks looking a little bit more weathered. Now I'm going to show you how I create casted shadows, which add further depth to the image. I'll take this hanging basket as an example. So the way I do it is I copy, paste, place it on a layer behind, then make it a single colour. Shadows are never pure black and often inherit a tint of the colour of the sky. So in this case I'm going to make it slightly blue, because it's always blue skies in Lincoln, obviously. Then I set the layer to multiply, warp to the direction of the sun, done. After some more work, here's the Wigan Mitre pub rendered. I've added a lot of the tiny details already, but I'm going to show you an example of the painstaking process in doing this by painting a pixel art version of the pub sign. And there we go. Moving forward another few hours, I've got all the buildings in now. I'm going to show you how I quickly and easily add character to some of these buildings. Obviously, with them being very old, they can be a bit wonky in places where they have aged. So this roof, for example, I'm going to select a few pixels and manually shift them down a notch. The resulting effect gives that more aged and characterful look. And here's how I tackle windows and reflections. Firstly, I create a small set of details and add them into the window, like these fairy lights and cute decor. See, I can move it around and get the composition right. To add a reflection, firstly I'm going to paint the other side of the street, or at least a small part of it, and place it in a layer behind the window frame. Then I flip it around as reflections face the other way, and I set the layer to additive and play with the opacity. Finally, to fake that effect of not all the glass panes being perfectly aligned, I'm going to brighten a few of them to make it appear as if the angle of the glass is slightly offset and catching the light in slightly different ways. So after many hours work, I finally have the steep hill painted in its entirety in pixels. However, there's still something lacking. The one thing missing from this scene now is some life. We've got this beautiful street scene, fully rendered, but we need some people. We need the people of Lincoln doing what all Lincolnites love to do, which is walk up steep hill. So that and pigeons. So let's give the scene some life. So I have a separate canvas setup where I create my digital cast, and I use this as a base to create my mini pixel people of Lincoln. So let's take this one, and as it's not acceptable in Lincoln, or anywhere for that matter, to stroll around with no pants on, I'm going to give him some clothes and some hair. So next I copy my cast into my street scene. He's coming a bit small, so I'm going to scale him up a bit so he doesn't get trodden on. Let's put him here, waiting for a friend or something. Let's give him a shadow like I did previously with the hanging basket. So the beauty of these pieces is that I can leverage a bit of artistic license. So how about we stick some famous mice outside the Mouse House cheese shop? So I've just created these. Apologies in advance if your particular favourite mouse isn't in here. Maybe next time. And here they are in the scene. Pinky and the Brain, Jerry, Mickey, half of the Rescue Rangers, regulars to Lincoln of course, and Danger Mouse. And here we have the finished scene in all its glory, people and all. We have a couple happily walking up the hill, random guy sat in window doing something, don't know what he's up to. He's not looking happy at all walking up that hill. And people getting pissed on the Alpine Lager in the Cullen. Don't know what he's doing. And some people enjoying a bit of al fresco at the summit. Oh, and let's not forget the pigeons, crapping everywhere, naturally. So the image is finished now, and I think it's turned out pretty good, but it still only exists in a digital format. So what I'm going to go and do is get a print ordered. So let's see how this turns out. So I missed the DHL person, so I've just been out to collect my print from the post office. So let's see how this turned out. So if unboxing videos are your thing, apologies in advance, this will probably be the worst one you've ever seen. It just turns out it's impossible to unbox something and hold a camera at the same time. So after wrestling with cardboard and parcel tape for a minute or two, I managed to get it out of the box, and here it is. I'm really happy with this. I had it custom made and printed onto HD metal, so this is on aluminium, not paper, and the result is really good. I'm very happy with this. So after all that, this is what we've ended up with, and I can't even get it all in shot, so let's do this. So I hope you enjoyed seeing the process here and how one of these pieces is created. I will be making these available in the new year, along with my other pixel art pieces. So if you'd like to purchase one, then I'll be putting details out in the new year. Although if you do get in quick and you have a friend or relative that you either like a lot or simply deserves more than a Lynx Africa body set this Christmas, and maybe one of these would be a good Christmas present, then message me and get in quick and I'll see what I can do. But until next time, you take care. Oh, and for anyone who likes stats, check this out. 31,000 brushstrokes.